Okay, we are back again. This is Mr. Chad, and we are continuing our playthrough through Banner Saga. Let's continue. So we just beat up a whole bunch of guys inside of a bar, and that was the guys associated with the chieftain who we killed in the very beginning. So let's keep going. There they are, gods be damned. I've got to go wash off this blood. Eric is looking out the halls, the windows of the bay. Fleet along ships approach. The sails of bold reds and blues. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next for Varl kinship, last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Okay. There's a... By the way, I will point out that there's actually quite a bit of dialogue in this. If you want me to just skip it through and just get to the battles, I can do that too. The problem with this game, at least for a Let's Play perspective, is that there's just a lot of slow-paced, not a whole lot of gameplay until you actually get into a fight, but that could potentially take a while to get through most of these dialogue options here, so we're just gonna try and chug through as fast as we can. I read pretty quick, so if you miss anything, just let me know. I'll try to read out loud. I don't know if that's more fun or not. We'll see. Alright, can I ask one more favor? What is it? Captain, to stall our guest down the docks? I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Okay. So we're gonna go stall those guys down at the docks. Eric and also the meat house to his crack. Eric tosses a bar, keeps spar of silver for the mess. A spar, huh? Spar. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Alright, so let's go to the docks over here. When I first played this game, I don't know if I'm just slightly colorblind or something, but I couldn't see this name called the docks, and I was looking where are they? I mean, obviously yes, there's boats going in, but I don't know why. It's hard to see the text sometimes, especially on the white backgrounds. Wagner. Okay, so Wagner, he's sort of the king of Varls right now. Varl steps on to the docks, and your mind must blah blah blah. Okay. And one thing I always find funny about this is that if you notice, all the Varls in this game sort of hold their whatever weapon it happens to be in this sort of form. It's a very his hand just looks kind of strange. I don't know. It just looks weird, and they all sort of handle their weapons the same way. So I don't know. I know that's just sort of the sort of saving on animation and whatnot, but still find it funny. And hack on, okay. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Gerunder demands it. I'll take over... Oh my gosh, why can I read today? It's just unbelievable. I take that over lingering death to Grofheim. Speaking of, I have no sense that you are so far from home. Just returning from Arborang, in fact, and glad for it. Hakon motions the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolfhead emblazoned on red. The king of men, someone on his behalf. Okay, so the Lannisters are here. That's good. That usually bodes well for everybody involved. King's son, Luden. Don't you know Scrivener? Okay, we visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. Well, in the days of the sun stopping and yeah, frickin' robotic menaces coming to hurt you. Yep, that's a thing. Oh, you guys don't know who the Dredge is. You'll find out shortly. It's kind of strange. It's a good thing to have you around, Hakon. Then you're going to Grofheim. I have a distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. And caravanning is sort of the major way to get around to the different areas. I mean, obviously, there's a whole lot of other things involved with that, but yeah, caravanning is pretty much how you get from one point to the other. And you'll see the mechanics, and I'll explain them as they go. We should give it a day. Or we should give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done with this. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Moger? I think that's Moger? Moger? I like Moger. Sounds more like Wagner. Oh, maybe it's Moger. Let's go Moger. Hakon, or Haken. Hakon sounds better. Have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Mauger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I think that means like the scribe in the Varl sort of, culture. Scrivener. Because you can tell he holds like a quill. He's not a fighter. You'll see him actually in the background of fights sometimes. And that's the guy you're supposed to be right now, so... Or at least in this perspective, since this game does switch perspectives. The young prince of men, ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Luden looks for all the world, the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. That's... okay. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. And Luden is one of the princes of men. And there's sort of a tenuous alliance at best. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan, tomorrow it might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon, or to introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. So here's another mechanic. You can talk to people usually before and after battles. Most of the time it's after battles you'll get these, and you can sort of learn... important information, so like it's akin to like sort of like Fire Emblem, where you can build relationships with people outside of battle when you're not going crazy on everybody. So there is some way to sort of identify with these people outside of the main storyline which is going on. So yeah, let's just click on one of these. Go to Hakon. Scrivener. You find Hakon in the mead house surrounded by other Varls. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for the flagon. I don't know why I just did that accent, but that's what he's going to go with now.
Wagner, the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I was invited to the governor's hall anyway.
We can do that guy's Batman, because I like that. You already missed the massacre? Every year I make rounds collecting taxes. Every year in the human settlement. That voice is getting totally out of control. Every year, it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We had a few more. Ha, humans. I guess I only lived as long as a yox fart. Okay, yox is just an ox with a Y. It's yoxy. Yoxy. Fart. Fart. I might be desperate to make something of myself, too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip. A low chuckle. Let's slip. It's like... Any Varl could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. So yes, they have been at war with these guys named the Dredge. They don't really know where they come from, but you can kind of see that they're like a robotic type thing, like they're very mechanical, or they're mechanical looking, and they have glowing eyes, and yeah, so I don't even know where the hell they could have come from in this universe anyway. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step into the cool air outside. So just a small thing that we're sort of figuring out a little bit more about Hakon. Let's go to Luden, sort of the bitch prince. Well, I don't know if he gets better later on, but he's sort of a bitch right now. And he kind of doesn't take kindly to anything. You find the prince at the inn. Guards blanket the building, including the sharp-eyed Varro who must be working for Luden. A woman in red waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Luden. Yes, you're with Wagner. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you to Grofheim with my guards. Luden looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. Like I said, these guys are actually just collecting taxes for the king. That they make their rounds throughout the whole land just to, do their jobs. And they happen to be involved in these scuffles every now and again. Kerfluffles. What do you want? Just to introduce myself, because I don't like you very much. You collect taxes for the Varl territories. A true pleasure. Yes. Okay, awkward. I guess that was awkward, whatever. Alright, so now that we've sort of explored that avenue, let's continue on. At dawn, you are woken by delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Okay, got some renown. Good. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already there. A while later, Luden and his men appear groggy and disheveled. Ogre steps forward. Wagner is quartermaster. If you recall correctly, in charge of the unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you are ready to depart. We are ready. Let's get going. You follow Mauger and join the others. By the way, it is story intensive, but there's actually a lot more combat to come up in just a bit here, so I'll just get to that. Spawns outdoors will be enough to then, yeah, because the Varl are giant. Yep, I get it. I get you. Okay, so let's begin the caravan section. So, in this section here, you don't have any control of anything, so you're basically just watching your bannermen, and this will actually start increasing as you get more and more people. So, as you can see, I have 85 fighters. I have 366 Varls. That you guys have seen just how freaking brutal these Varls are in battle. I mean, 366 of them. That's quite a few. Anyway, so right here you have the morale meter. Okay. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Mauger, cracking open the mead cask from our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the mead is passed throughout the camp. So you drink a little, drink a lot, which I'm not bragging here, but I do have a beer right next to me. Why is that a brag? I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. Anyways, let's go. Let's do Toast to Wagner. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Varl. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit back down beside Wagner. Why am I getting so tongue-twisted today? So, whenever someone offers me a drink in video games, especially one that involves, like, decisions that can make or break some sort of storyline, I never, ever drink the drink. I don't know what it is. It's just the game developers just love to give you a trap. I don't know if this is a trap or not. I've not actually seen, but usually if someone offers you a drink or something in a video game, it's either poison or it's like a sleeping pill or something. Like, something will always go wrong. So I've learned to trust my instincts and just sort of, not do anything. So let's chat with Wagner. Thanks for the speech. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Mauger, I thought the damn governor would never shut up. Did he give you the entire history of his family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up the mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Isn't that the truth? Speaking of, what happens to this business with Luden? Hopefully the boy goes back to Arborang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on some dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Haha, or haha, or hee hee. Don't you miss the fight to Uben? You down... Oh, well, I guess you freaking downed it anyway, whatever. Okay, great. There's no joy in killing Dredge. We're so dead. But this pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it just because I'm next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Well, yeah. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. So, yeah, I guess they obviously passed down their royalty based on bloodline. Fantastic. You rise groggily, the campsite of casualty of merriment. A casualty of merriment. Mauger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking in your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up. You nudge Wagner. You're needed. And I'll explain sort of the caravan mechanics once. I know I sort of did it very briefly, but it'll show up again after all this dialogue has taken place. I apologize that most of this episode has been dialogue, but yeah, this is sort of this game in the beginning. You just have to get all the backstory. Okay. How long to Grofheim?
Ha! Nah. We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on the map.
It's okay. I'm gonna make up voices in order to entertain myself and to entertain you guys, because there's a lot of freaking dialogue here. So, here's the map. The map is quite interesting. This is probably the most interesting map I've ever seen. I don't come across very many maps. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Anyways, so this map is freaking ginormous. You can tell that we traveled from here to about here, and that's as far as we've gone in that 10-minute span. Every single thing on this map is actually clickable, so you could click on this, get some information, go to the Langloom Forest, go to the Ba Harbor, Ba. So lots of sheep there, Ravenhead. So there is a lot of information on this map, and usually what I will do is, like, there's just so much on here that it's too much to take in at once. So what I'll do is I'll just click around to where I am to sort of get the lay of the land, like things that are important to note. Like, for instance, the sea right here, which is called the Vast. The waters to the west were named not for their reach, but for their depth. Long ships lost even somewhat close to the shore are best considered gone to the depths forever. So it's kind of cool. You can see that their compass looks something like this. I can't really read this type of font. I mean, it looks like Ostuk. I don't even know. I don't even want to try to butcher it, but you can click on this and you can look at the cardinal directions too. So yeah, since they don't have a sun, or since they don't have a sun, whatever. Yeah. So basically, the sun stopped shortly ago, so like a few days ago, not since the beginning of time here. But yeah, so there's their directions. Directions. You can see that strand, which we were just here. It closes, comes to the Bastion of Racial Traumas. Both men and Varl complete to scratch out a living. Okay. Karl's Fjord. The fjord splitting off into Varl territory was named after Karl. Ah, yes. The legendary Karl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. The only Varl to ever become governor of Strand, albeit only short time. Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So, alright, so this is the area of Huron, this huge sort of stretch of land here. The long snowfields, tall mountains, sparse woods of Huron used to be the gathering place of Dredge during the Second Great War. As Varl pushed them ever northward, they took the land and settled it themselves, preferring the cold expanses over the warm, busier lands of men to the south. Why am I am just fragmenting the shit out of these sentences, and, I'm going to do this Birdemic style. Oh. Now the territory is almost entirely Varl. Okay, so this is the Varl homelands. This is mainly the human homelands, Rundwald. Stromland, I think, is still humans. Or actually, Stromland, I think, is to the horse people. Or maybe it's Swartbog. I don't remember. So there's also, like, horse centaurs guys in here. And, yeah, humans. So we're going along the Wandering Road. At the end of the First Great War, the Varl had more to contend with than the mankind to the south. Above the brittle Bratabrek peaks, the lands crawled with furious war-minded Dredge. The first Varl king, Einar, led the entire Varl race across the stormy fields of the Wandering Road, sweeping away Dredge as they went, before forming their first kingdom at Einartoft. So, yeah, you can see, like, all the lore sort of leads up to these different places. Like, this is one of the first settlements of the Varl right here. We're actually traveling up to this place here, so Grofheim, the last home of the Varl and seat of their power, founded by Arnfinnr, the second Varl king. Though the Varl have moved around a lot, most consider Grofheim the capital. The deeds of Varl are honored here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they are said to become part of the Varl's March itself. So, that reminds me a lot of Sovereign Guard kind of thing. Like, when you die, you go to Varl's March, I suppose. Yeah, so Varl's March. Actually, whoa. Okay. So they... Oh, no. I guess not. Okay, I guess Varl's March is literally right next to it. So you become a part of these mountains here, I suppose. Birthberry and become the bones of the mountain, eventually forming a new peak along the range. So, okay. Okay, so every single peak in here is another Varl who's dead. Okay, and the 2 spears? Cool. Okay, so we're going to be traveling, I assume, up through here? Or maybe we'll go up and through here? I guess we'll find out, so... Alright, so we have some information on where we're going here. So let's exit. We head north, then east. Okay, so we're going up then east. Up then east, god damn it. We head north, then east, past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand, going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Skymerstead? And Skymerstead was literally above it, so, but you had to access it through the sea. Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Screamerstead? Screamerstead? Let's go Screamerstead. Half-sunken city crawling with dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Why would we go up there anyway? That's what I don't understand. Is like you want to go through a whole bunch of robotic motherfuckers just to get to your hometown, which is literally a few steps away. That's stupid. Luden exhales through the nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside his tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't pork the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few days more with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off to. Luden's got shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vetterfell, and we're lucky. Or, if we're lucky. Not and we're lucky. But we can be lucky. Okay, so in camp here, I'll sort of show these things here. So I don't really need this tutorial to show you, but yeah. So basically, when you're in camp, you can do a few different things. You saw already that you can talk to people and click on the various things. In this, you can do a few things. So, for instance, training, which you can actually train at the expense of no harm done to your guys. So you can actually get used to their abilities. Ooh, excuse me, I'm coughing here, and you can get used to their abilities. Like if you get new party members, you can camp for a night and then train with them and see just what they can do and sort of test powers and stuff like that. So, let's click on the heroes tent. Okay, so it's telling me to click on a guy to see their stuff. Click on an ability unit. Okay, you can see that awesome 90s animation, which is fantastic. You can actually figure out sort of what each thing does more in detail. So the Sundering Impact, he can wreak havoc with an additional +1 strength and +1 break damage to the target, plus bonuses to heavy impact. Heavy impact is here. Hits so hard that anything standing adjacent takes 1 strength damage. So, for instance, if you had a cluster of guys around their big old boss of 4 tiles, well, you can hit that guy on the 4 tiles, and it'll hit pretty much everyone around him, even if they're well, they can't hit him on diagonally, but it'll hit them sort of on the sides, and yeah, that is basically no diagonals, only on the sides. Since this game doesn't use hexes, uses squares, as you've seen, obviously. Okay, so rank 1, +1 break to heavy impact, +1 strength, and break. So it's basically adding stuff to heavy impact, so this becomes more violent. This is sort of like the after effect of your skill, or your special effect. So let me bring up this. You can see that this is your ability, obviously. This is your armor, strength, willpower, exertion. Exertion is how much willpower you can have, or how much willpower you can use on an action. Can use break and all that good stuff. So you can tell that break has a pretty low stat here. So, but it's guaranteed damage. So 2 to break armor, or I guess you could do 14 damage here, but that's mitigated by armor. But you'll always do 2 armor damage. So it is actually good to get the armor damage up, especially for the dredge. The dredge, actually, well, we'll show you in just a second, but they have an ability, like a negative ability, that if they take 3 or more armor damage, it splinters off and hits all the surrounding dredge. So that's a very useful talent. This little button here can give you some backstory on who these people are. So Hakon is something of legend of oral culture. When he met Wagner, it was during the Second Great War. It was, yeah, so you can kind of see just different things. Like Ludin, you can see he's the Prince of Men. He's a spearmaster. Oh, okay, so this guy actually got a promotion, and you can see that he's still holding the sword, just like he always does. Let's promote this guy. And at first I was like clicking on here, it's like, okay, well I want to do one of the two, but that's just telling you what you get for each level. So we can build higher stats and increase my item rank. And, okay, yeah, you sure you wanted to promote for 5 renown? Yep, let's do it. Let's click that. So, wow, he actually got 2 promotions, Jesus. So let's do that again, and then we'll continue. Okay, improve my ability. Let's do that. And my ability, oh, now it hits up to 3 enemies. That's fantastic. So as you saw me using Tempest, and you saw me hit my guy by total accident, it actually works like it'll hit 2 enemies, and then, so it hit 1 enemy, and then whoever is next in line clockwise to him. If that's your ally, then you're pretty much screwed. So you'll deal out damage to him, which is not good. So just make sure that whenever you're doing skills, like you make sure you read exactly what they do. And since this game is so deliberate and meticulous, one single problem can just totally ruin your time, especially doing like 5 damage to that guy was not ideal when I did it in the last episode. So you can see that this guy spins around. Heavy Impact actually does the exact same thing. So Heavy Impact will do 1 damage to everyone around him. To everyone who got hit by the Tempest, he also has this Heavy Impact. You can see it's actually Mogger's ability, but he sort of keeps it, it sort of transfers to him somehow. I don't know. So we have 4 points available. This guy is a brawler. I mean, he's crazy freaking strong with this sword. So what we want to do is we could increase his armor. He's not really getting hit that much right now. We can up his strength to the max and then sort of give him an Unchained. So we can do like this. So now he's just a force to be reckoned with. He's absolutely unstoppable right now. So he does 18 damage. 18 freaking damage. Yeah, let's just crank his. And this guy here. This guy, what you can do, you can kind of see he stabs a guy and then kicks him away. So this is called, obviously, Impale. And Impale, he'll stick him and then kick him away. And for every single time that they move a square, they will take damage. So this gets, obviously better. But there's also abilities such as Shield Bash, which will actually knock them 4 tiles. And then this will kick them back 1. So if you have... it's hard to sort of time it and have the Q be with you, but if you are able to shield bash somebody after impaling them, they will have to walk 4 or 5 squares, because actually he'll have to be about 4 squares, so it'll be 4 points worth of damage when he walks up to them, which is insane. So yeah, this guy has no promotions. We just saw that guy. This guy does Mogger does Bring the Pain, so Bring the Pain. Yeah, so basically what it's doing is you hit him, and for 1 turn, until it is his turn again, you'll get Return the Favor, and Return the Favor is basically that armor damage that you saw, so anyone who hits a shield banger actually loses armor, so, yeah, and I think it also hurts his armor. Let's see here. Yeah, he strikes him for armor damage, and before hunkering down, boosting his passive ability. Okay, cool stuff. So, now that we know what our heroes are capable of, now we can actually sort of, you won't be able to do this until later, or it won't tell you until later, but you can actually rearrange which people go first and which people go last. So, generally, the good idea is to have your shield bangers go first, and then you have, this is a War Master, he's sort of the in-betweener, and then you want your damage dealers to come up the rear and smash them down after their armor's been broken or something like that. So we'll bring Gunolf at the end, since he has the most bestial potential. This guy is a freaking crazy person now. So let's go. Okay, so a couple things about this. I know I was talking about morale. Morale actually boosts your willpower. You may have seen in battle that some people have like 7 of 5 willpower, which is over the maximum. That's just because of great morale. Yeah, so options menu, derp. Here's your renown up here, and here's your days of supplies. For every day that you rest, this just ticks down by 1. And for every single person that you have in here, these supplies will run out faster or slower, depending on how many people you have. So I think... let me go back to my heroes guide. Was anyone injured? No. So if someone gets injured, they won't die in battle, but what they will, they'll just be knocked out for the battle, and you'll just see like a number over their face. And yeah, so okay, so I think I'm gonna end this episode here. I know we had a lot of freaking dialogue in this. That's just sort of the nature of the beginning of this game. So you don't have to like this one, and I'll try and do a forewarning before we get started on this, or something. Or if there's going to be a lot of dialogue, I'll let you guys know. Anyways, sorry guys for that craziness. There's basically no battles. I don't think we fought anybody, did we? No, we didn't fight anybody. So anyways, useless episode. Alright guys, talk to you later. See ya.